of typeface classification. It is exciting. And there's a couple reasons that I want to cover this topic today in a short video. First of all, I still get the question quite often, how can I improve my basic hand lettering? And there's only so much I can say to that because it really is all about practicing and enjoying your practice. And of course, there's not a whole lot I can do to help you guys with that, except say go practice. I encourage you. But what I can do is teach you a little bit more about hand lettering and typeface. And I think with any subject, the more knowledge you have, the easier it is to become proficient. If you were to go out and buy a hand lettering book, I think chapter 1 would just be typeface classifications. And so you don't have to buy the book because today I'm going to teach you all about it. So to begin, what I want to say about this subject is that we all sort of know our fonts. I think we do. Anyways, if you grew up with any sort of word processing program on your computer like Microsoft Word, you know when you go to change your fonts, you've got a whole bunch of choices, Times New Roman, or Baskerville Old Face, or Wingdings, or whatever. So those are all fonts. And there's thousands of them. There's designers coming out with new fonts every day. And all of those thousands and millions upon millions of fonts fall into basically 4 categories. So let's talk about what the 4 classifications are. So first of all, let me grab my cue cards. The first category is SERIF. And SERIF, let's talk about what that word actually means, shall we? So SERIF is a slight projection finishing off a stroke of a letter in certain types. So what that means is all these little sort of wingedings that come off the letter and that add a little bit of detail. Serif fonts grew out of the original Gothic style of handwriting that would have been popular in the time before movable type. So when scribes were still writing out books, they had this Gothic style of handwriting that was very sort of elaborate. So when movable type and the printing press gained popularity in Europe and lots of books were being published, the style of font that they were using, or the style of type, were these serif fonts that still were very similar to the old Gothic styles. And that stayed popular for the 15th through the 18th century and is still popular today. As we all know, our favorite font, Times New Roman, is a serif font, and some other examples are Georgia, Bodini, Baskerville, and that's all I have written down. Let's talk about our second category, sans serif. Now, sans, if you recall, means without. It's sort of an old word for without. So sans serif fonts are fonts that do not have those little wingeding-dings coming off the end of each letter. So they're very clear, very sort of minimal pared down fonts. And these type of fonts have been popular for the last couple centuries. They have gained popularity and we use them often on our web pages, on computer screens and posters because they're very clear, they're very easy to read from a distance, and they're very simple. And some examples of sans serif are Helvetica, a favorite, yes, Geosans, and Arial. Okay, next, script. I think you guys can see where this one's going. So script fonts are derived from the 17th century handwriting styles. They're they sort of mimic calligraphy, and they often have strokes that join each letter together. A lot of the sort of faux calligraphy and stuff that we do on this channel, all those fonts would fall into the typeface category of script, and I often like playing around with scripts and sans serif fonts. I don't often get as into the serif fonts, but that's just because I find them really difficult. Okay, moving on to our final category, decorative. Decorative fonts are, this is probably the largest category. It is the largest category because anything that doesn't fall into those initial 3 categories is going to sit within the decorative category. And so decorative fonts are anything like graffiti and bubble letters and 3D letters and any kind of font that you come up with that isn't sort of a serif or a sans serif or a script. So anytime you're using like a triangle to represent an A, or you're using a symbol in place of a letter, that's going to constitute a decorative font. So let's see what else it says here. These are used for signs, headlines, and to make a statement. There's no rules, and have fun and design your own font. All right, well that's it for the 4 typeface categories. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and learned a little bit, and I hope that you'll find this useful when you're taking on some new hand lettering projects.